No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he is not the same man. The first time I stepped in this river, I was a skinny 14-year-old kid with big feet and a mouth to match. It was early in the summer of 1994, and together with family and a few friends, I set off down the Wanapitei River. The man that had brought us all together was my Uncle David. Uncle Dave had a love for canoes and the places they could take you that was infectious. We would, in the following years, run the Sturgeon, the Spanish, and the Vermilion rivers, all under his supervision. Those early trips were made with whatever equipment we could scrounge up, even resorting to using 5-gallon pails to keep our gear dry, with the lids doubling as our plates. Leaky canvas tents and garage sale clothing completed our outfits. Tragedy struck in the late 90s when Dave was diagnosed with cancer, and in the early spring of 2000, he lost that fight. I was shattered and wanted to do something in his memory, so that summer, at the age of 20, I set out alone to travel the length of the Wanapitei River, from its source to Georgian Bay. I spent 28 days alone as I paddled my old fiberglass hand-me-down canoe through the upper lakes and down the many rapids. Now 24 years later, I'm back to see what's changed in both the river and myself. Good morning, folks. It is a hazy, muggy, buggy morning today. Wow. Started this trip yesterday, and I've been traveling mostly crossing some bigger lakes and working my way upstream, trying to get to the headwaters of the Wanapitei River. Last night was interesting. I came all the way up Friday Lake and Friday Creek. By the time I got to the head of the lake, it was nearly dark. I've been scouring the shore for the last couple hours trying to find something suitable to camp, but I ended up just making do. Put up camp in the dark at the head of the portage. Kind of a lousy night's sleep after a very long day, but we're going to be on Scotia Lake once we get the boat across, and that is the headwaters for our river. The wind's been coming almost due out of the south, a little southwest, and this lake runs straight to north-south. So I'm heading north, and I can see the end of the lake here back behind me, which means we're almost off the lake, and then it's a lot of river travel. It's a very surreal feeling being back here. A lot of emotions. A lot of memories of when the first time I came here, what it was like and where I was at, mentally. Hard to believe it's been a full 24 years since I was here last. can very vividly remember entering the top of the Wanapitei River, thinking, alright, where's Bill Mason? You look down and see the grass bending in the current, and the downstream run is fit to begin. But I have my topo maps from that trip. I had in a box all these years. They've got pencil scratchings all over them where I made little notes about places I camped and things I saw. And it was right in here, somewhere along here, where I came around the corner and there was a cow moose just standing in the river with her head underwater. And she ran off. She was only a canoe length ahead of me when I came around one of these little corners. She ran off to my right, and her calf was on the bank. I didn't see it. It was in the brush, and it jumped into the river right ahead of me. And somewhere I have a picture of this calf moose. I probably could have touched it. It was so close to the canoe. I remember there was a bear feeding, and as I paddled along, the cub scurried up the tree right beside its mother and just stood there. Or just hung on to the tree looking at me. And she was seated eating something, blueberries or whatever, and she watched me paddle past. Neat encounter. But it's funny just to see all these little notes that I made so many years ago. And then to be back in the same place. Just getting a flood of emotions coming back. Just thinking about where I was in life 24 years ago. How much has changed. How much has stayed the same. It's not the most picturesque spot to make camp tonight, but I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to make it work one way or another. Mosquitoes are back. it's flat enough. ATV trail to access this lake, I guess. And there's 4 boats stashed around here. But hopefully no one minds if I clog up the launch for one night. Stash boat makes a good backrest. I'm not having to force myself to eat. I feel like I can just go to bed. I don't know what time it is, but it's still early. Too early for bed. Good morning. Kind of rain off and on a bit in the night. But I woke up to, you might be able to hear it. I woke up to a bunch of heavy equipment working. I guess they're logging somewhere nearby. It sounds like it's just up the hill, but I didn't hear it yesterday when I got here. And then I woke up, I don't know, about 3 in the morning, and that's all you could hear is
reverse beeping and chainsaws cutting. Sounds like I'm camped in a logging camp here. So I think I'm just going to get up and get packed, and I'll eat on the water. I don't really want to hang around here, but the bugs are certainly out, so hopefully this helps keep them out of my face.
I honestly can't tell which side of the river they're logging on. Sometimes it sounds like north, sometimes south. One minute it feels like the skies are going to open up, and then all of a sudden it stops. It's like misting, and I'll keep my rain gear on for now. I remember this section of the river being very tedious. We'll see how much it's changed. Breeze feels nice, but it feels like it's going to be a headwind today. Oh, the banks have all widened out. The sky's starting to lighten up a little bit to the east. Rain's let off. No bugs out here right now. I'm having some jerky. I can still hear the logging off in the distance, but hopefully we get away from that before too long.
birds in this section of the river. Lots of ducks, they're young. Thought I might see some moose in here, but I haven't yet. Maybe I'm too loud.
Going to be running this one a little bigger than I'm prepared to do. We'll find a way around it though.
Holy cow. This mosquito is freaking insane here. I'll leave it hang out a little bit. Nope, that's not happening. Holy man. I'm like breathing them in. I put my hood up, trying to keep them off the back of my head a bit. Holy man. Get moving. Outrun someone. Well, there's, that bridge is marked on my map. So, now I know where I am again. Paddle for that and then dig it out. You got more coming up. This is a waterfall for sure. Get up a little closer though.
indicated on the map. That was cool. I don't remember that at all. What a cool spot. Beautiful falls. Alright. Got another rapid here. I jumped out and took a walk down this one. Make sure that everything's good because it goes around a corner, and it looks all right. The water would be too low in June. Not me. I could probably take this raincoat off now the sun's come out. Whoops. Looking downstream, not looking right ahead of me. camp out right here at the brink. Attitude of the river's changed again. The valley is broadened out and the river's flattened out quite a bit. Trees have backed away and it's back to the swampy kind of feeling. But I can see just over to the side of the river, just to river left here, it's all been clear cut. There's a swath about 50 meters wide of trees left, and then everything back behind is just leveled. Kind of changes the feeling a little bit here. It's been a long day, but I'm feeling great actually. I thought I'd be more tired, but I feel wonderful. Just been picking my way along and, you know, singing songs to myself. Trying to crash into the bank here. It's after 6 o'clock now, so we're coming up on 10 hours on the water. Crunch is on to find a campsite now. So these little sandbars I just passed, I keep seeing them. They're an option. I'm hoping I find something a little more decent than that. They're all covered in moose tracks and Yeah, I don't really fancy a moose stumbling through my tent in the night. But let's see what I can find. It's time for camp though. Sun finally came out. It's just beautiful out here now. Good morning. Oh my goodness. I have all this gear on just to keep the bugs off. Oh, the mosquitoes are insane this morning. Like they've been every morning. Slept pretty well last night, but woke up early. So decided to get packed up and just get on the water. But it is a beautiful morning out here on the river. Days like this are phenomenal. really hard to see the rocks with the glare of the sun on them. That was a fun little way to start the day. I guess because I have a fairly long history with this river, I just think about how much I've changed and how much, what I'm noticing a lot is how much the gear has changed that I'm using. The first time I came here, I was in paddling a Coleman plastic canoe that we dumped in a rapid and ended up pinning and smashing it all up. And we were able to kind of stomp it back into shape and get home. When I came back in 2000, paddling solo, I was in a hand-me-down canoe that someone had given me. A guy that I worked with gave me this fiberglass, tri-keeled. It would float, and that's about all it had going for it. It was slow and heavy, hard to maneuver. And now I'm in a T4X, almost indestructible canoe. Back then I had canvas packs and I had to keep everything watertight inside the packs. And now I've got these heavy duty waterproof packs and waterproof everything. And everything weighed a lot more. I think I was triple carrying every portage. I'm kind of thankful that I don't remember a whole lot of this river. I kind of remember the bottom section a little bit, because that's where the white water is. But, I feel like after 24 years, I'm seeing the river for the first time again. Line on the far side, there's a bit of a V to come down, and then you'd have to ride over that ledge at the bottom. By myself, I don't think I'm going to try it. Definitely not running. No problem. Was a little portage trail there. Had to come down that rock face there behind me, but it was bad. Just the takeout for the portages right at the very brink of the falls. I was. I sure wish Uncle Dave was still here. He would love this. He'd love just hearing about it, just watching it. I miss that guy. Shallow in here. nice little flat calm section for about half an hour. Now we got some more rapids. Sliding through just endless rapids, one after another, bombing down a river. looking for the island, and I'm pretty sure this is it on my right. There's a channel that goes down either side, and River Right is a much shallower channel, but this island, I remember so distinctly. It had been raining, pouring rain the entire day. We were all soaked. Most of our gear was wet. We were huddled around a smoky campfire, and Uncle Dave just wanted to run rapids. So he would run down one side of the island, eddy out, and one of us would help him portage his canoe back up. And then he'd run down again. And I just remember all of us just huddled around this smoky little fire, trying to keep it going, trying to warm up and dry out a little bit. And he just stayed warm just by running that river over and over again. He must have run it a dozen times. And he'd get to the end, he'd holler for somebody to give him a hand to portage his big heavy fiberglass canoe back up. And then he'd run down again. And he'd try and convince one of us to get in the boat and run it with him. And if nobody wanted to go, he'd just do it solo. I'm pretty sure that's the spot. It's a really nothing of a rapid, but those are good memories. This one's pretty big. Big ledge down there too. This might be a no-go. This is a campsite here. There's a fire pit, but you can tell by looking at it, nobody's been here for quite a while. Does not get used very often. I think this rapid is going to require lining to get around it. Lining or portaging. I'd rather line. surprised by the size of this rapid once I got down here. I could hear it quite a ways off, but I thought all the big stuff was behind us. This one's quite big. And so it splits around an island. And the main flow, it's got a lot of current, and it's a pretty gnarly line. And you can maybe make it through. I don't know. Now, the other side of the island is the opposite. It's a fairly straight line, but it's really narrow. So, I'm gonna try that way. To get up there. That was not good. Oh. Wow. That was the wrong line. A lot of water in here. Just a little more. Come on. Oh. Close. Just about lost it. A little more to get through yet. Let's do it. Getting to the point in the day where it's any port in the storm, any port for the night. If I can find anywhere to set up my tent that will work. We got a lot of this stuff. Just, you can see over my shoulder, grassy, swampy, and then the alternative to that is steep, tree-covered banks. My map shows a bunch of sandbars towards the Lake Wanapitei, and we're getting pretty close to it now. But I'm starting to wonder if all this long grass isn't some of that sandbar, and it's still underwater. I've paddled so much farther every day than I intended when I started this trip. But for whatever reason, I just wanted to keep moving. A really hard time sitting still. But I don't know if I can nail down exactly why, but it's the way this one's going to be. Not perfect, but it'll do. Maybe even dry it out a little. That would be amazing. Best part is, I'm in the bright sunlight, it's still warm, and there's no bugs out yet. Well, what started out as a quiet night has changed, as you can probably hear. Man, there's all kinds of black flies in this vestibule. So if you can hear that humming, engine running, up and down the river today, all the way along the bank, I looked for somewhere flat, somewhere I could pull out, and pretty much any decent spot seemed to have a camper already there. Somebody, it's a thing in Northern Ontario, it seems, where people just come out and park campers for the summer and use it as a portable cottage, you know, on a lake somewhere or a river or whatever. And there was a couple already here, a couple campers here, but nobody was around. So I thought, perfect, this would be a good spot. I found this nice sandy spot here to set up, and then just as I was finishing my dinner, a truck rolled in. Within about 15 minutes, the generator started, the radio came on. Hopefully they don't run this damn thing all night long, but I'm thankful that I found a flat spot to lay down. I can stretch out and I'm dry. And yeah, this is something that's changed on the river. I don't remember there being loads of campers parked everywhere 24 years ago.
Good morning. I don't know what's more annoying, the hum of all the mosquitoes outside or the hum of the generator that ran all night. Actually, I had a really good sleep. It was a little cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Well, in hindsight, if I knew I was going to be paddling this far, this fast, I would have brought less food and maybe brought the bug shelter. So then if I brought the bug shelter, I'd be sitting in there instead of paddling, so I wouldn't have got this far, so I'd need more food. Came across this little guy stuck on the water. The camera's gonna pick him up or not. I don't know if he's gonna be okay, but it's kind of blurry, isn't it? Swampy's gonna be okay. We'll let him sit here on the yoke and see if he can dry himself out. And I like those guys. They eat a lot of mosquitoes. Going through so many emotions the last few days on this trip. Just so many memories, and I thought for a while about coming back and redoing this trip and wanting to be able to, portray things in the right light and do justice to my experience and to the people that helped make it happen. One of the last conversations Uncle Dave and I had together, he said, "I hope there's canoes in heaven." I hope so too.